Hello and welcome to Resilience and Relationships R&R, where we do real talk with real people. Is that what our tag is?
Yeah.
Real talk, something like that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm Stephanie Olson and I'm here with
Rebecca Saunders.
who? Okay, so we have an interesting thing to talk about today. And I don't know, it was a big deal and it kind of concerned me when I saw this. But yesterday, my sister sent me a clip and she sent it with just like, emoji eyes, like, oh my gosh, and, um, turn your sound on. And then that's what we do. I mean, we'll watch movies and then talk about them afterwards or have discussions about things we absolutely agree on or absolutely disagree on or whatever. But she sent this to me and it was a video. So for those of you who have not seen it, it is the Coldplay video. So it's a video of apparently what Coldplay does or did in this concert was they do what I don't know, it's like a kiss cam.
Yeah.
Only with this one, what they were doing is they were finding people and then the Coldplay guy, I don't know his name, whatever, Coldplay lead singer, yes, would create a song about them and just sing it right then. And so there was video of them wrapping up with one couple and then they moved to this couple and it was a man kind of with his arms around this woman. They were in what was clearly a corporate box. So it was like a corporate thing they were at, and he was putting his arms around her like you would a romantic, very intimate. And they were listening to the songs, and all of a sudden the cam goes on them and they look up and see it. The woman ducks down and the woman turns around, like covers her face, turns around, the guy ducks down, and the Coldplay guy says either they're having an affair or they're very shy. Well, what happened was it turns out that this guy is the CEO of a tech company called Astronomer, and she was, and I say was because I don't know what happened next.
I would
She
assume.
is the chief people officer, the head of HR. And then next to her in the cam was one of her staff members. Okay, so we find
I
all
did
this
not
out.
realize that she was the head of HR until just now.
Ironic.
A
Yes.
little bit, yeah.
I a little ironic. So the first person who posted this, who knows if they, I mean, obviously they were at the concert, they saw it happening, they were obviously videoing the kiss cam things, who knows? And then they posted it. Now, what has, and I want to talk about that piece, but what has happened since then is that it came out that this is who it was and it went viral. I mean, not
Like what?
just wildfire, not just like a little viral. I mean, everybody was talking about this and it was being posted everywhere on TikTok, on Instagram, all over the place. And it, my sister had the foresight early on because we're diggers and researchers, whatever. She went to his LinkedIn immediately. And on his LinkedIn, on a post that he had just posted, there were comments all over. And people were commenting, people were making jokes, people were just whatever. And finally, they locked down his LinkedIn, like it was gone. But the company's LinkedIn was also locked down. So nobody could post on that. And then if you went to the company website, which I did, you couldn't click on anybody's, they were all on there, but you couldn't click on anybody's email. And so it
I'm sure they
went,
were overwhelmed with responses about this.
oh my gosh. overwhelmed. But the person I could not stop thinking about was his wife and kids, or the people I could not stop thinking about
Yes,
was
I
his
mean,
wife and
depending on
kids.
how fast that was posted, that could have been the way she found out about everything. And just
I
how
am sure
I'm
that's
sure
how she found out
my heart
because,
goes out to her.
oh my gosh. And I think about my world, which is much smaller than that. But even when, we're on the news or something, or if there is, hey, I saw your podcast, I am constantly getting people sending me the story or texting me, oh, I saw this. I'm sure her phone was blowing up. I'm sure I mean, I can't even imagine. Cannot even imagine. And I don't know anything about his family life, but I think he has kids because I think he
I was
mentions.
gonna ask. I don't know, but if he has kids, I mean, surely this is getting back to them too. And
Yep. Yep.
depending on their ages, they may have friends with phones that have seen the video.
Yeah. It it's ridiculous. So I want to talk about that a little bit and about social media, and I want to talk about his response and just I don't know, is social media do should we expect privacy? Should we expect anything? And if we are putting things out there, or not even if we are putting things out there, if other people are putting things out there, what can we expect and what should we expect? So I want to
Really
read.
good questions.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you. So I want to share this statement from CEO Andy Byron. And I'm just going to read it, especially for people who aren't able to view this or just listening. But this is what it says. I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circling online and the disappointment it's caused. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. Now, I do want to come back to that statement right there. I want to
They have a
sincerely,
lot to say.
oh, a lot to say, yes. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer. Yes, Astronomer. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father. Okay, so he does have kids, and as a leader. This is not who I want to be or how I want to represent the company I helped build. So he's obviously a founder of some sort. So represent the company I helped build. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle. As a friend once sang, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. I don't even get that ending, but
It's a lyric from a song,
yeah.
one of their songs.
Oh,
So
one of Coldplay's songs. See, I don't know Cold. Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I have so many thoughts,
Yeah.
even just from the first line. And
Okay.
oh my goodness, how do you? I could just talk all day. So interrupt me if you want. But okay, I think it is perfectly normal and reasonable to desire privacy.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, I am always very skeptical of public apologies that come right after you've been caught. Because if this is not what you intended to do, then why did you do it?
Yes. Yes. Well, and that the first line, which was this was supposed to be a private night of joy and music. Okay, just right there. I
That I
mean,
feel like as the apology. No
a
one was
hun-
supposed to know about this.
right, 100%. Now, if you look at the okay, so we're going to talk about this as social media eventually. But having an affair, I'm going to go on the record with saying is wrong, right? I
I
mean,
second.
it's
I
wrong.
feel like we can all agree. Not okay.
Well, you and I can. I'm sure there are people out there who would challenge that or would say it's none of our business. How dare we even make that inference? But I'm going to go on the record saying
Between
it's wrong
us.
between
Yeah.
us, right? And a few other people, I'm guessing. Um, so, what was supposed to be a private night of joy and music, already right there, that bothers me because what we know is that at least one coworker or employee or whatever is in the room, right? And if it's a box for employers, or if it's a box that astronomer bought or he bought or whatever, the people he brought to that event know he's having an affair,
Yes. And by
clearly.
the looks of everything, this is not the first night they have disclosed feelings for one another. That was very intimate.
I don't think my husband
I mean,
has ever held me like that at a concert. It's like, I don't know.
I think I would
Well,
be uncomfortable even in a relationship. That's a lot of PDA for me.
I
So,
know. Well, yeah, exactly. So now, should you necessarily be, I don't know. Okay. So private
so it's
night,
not new. I
yeah,
think that's what we're drawing from this. It's not new.
it's not new. Other people know. It's not that private, obviously, right? Because we know other people knew about it. What he was saying, however, is that nobody was going to post it on social media. That's essentially what he was saying. Private, meaning my wife doesn't know, right? My family
I
doesn't
don't want
know.
everyone in my life to know this is happening.
Exactly. So, I I think we are all aware, though, or we should be, that in today's day and age, if you are outside, and frankly, half the time, if you're inside, like right now, we're online, nothing's private anymore. You can't count on it. You can walk down a street, you can go into a store, you're being recorded. So I don't know.
Well, and I think that kind of comes back to the integrity piece, right? Like I believe that you should be willing to own up to anything you do at any moment.
Yeah.
And yes, we all have bad days. I'm not saying that no one's ever made mistakes. I've made plenty.
Yeah, we all have.
Like that could get brought up again, and that's just life. And with or without social media, someone may find out about the thing that you're doing, and that's I think social media accelerates that greatly.
Correct.
But
Correct.
if you're going to do something or say something, be prepared that you might have to answer for that.
Exactly. And I heard somebody talking about something totally different yesterday, but he was making the comment that back in the day, um people used to, like, if you told something about somebody behind their back, spread gossip or rumor or whatever, it would eventually get back to that person. It would take a long time, but then it would be like, hey, I'm meeting you at the playground at 3 o'clock, and you could essentially es- escape or move away from your bad reputation because social media wasn't around to follow you. If I do something in Nebraska and then I move to California, I can reinvent myself. Nobody knows in California what I did in Nebraska. But with social media, that's not the case anymore. Everything we do is on display and we can't leave it. Okay. So one of the things that okay, was supposed to be a night of music and joy. Okay, he didn't say um he didn't say a private night of music and joy. He just said what was supposed to be a night of music and joy
Okay.
turned into a deeply personal mistake. No, it already was a mistake, right? Or
That to me feels
mistake.
like the mistake is that people know, not my
Right.
actual actions.
Right. And a mistake is like, oh my gosh, I grabbed different shoes, right? That's a mistake. I grabbed a black and brown pair. A mistake is not, oh my gosh, I accidentally fell into this affair with somebody. Oops, that sucks that that just happened. You know,
Well,
that's not a mistake.
even an argument could be made of like there was one action that was inappropriate with a person, that's a mistake. Okay. Like there's an argument to be made there, but
Right.
something ongoing,
Right.
I
It's not
you can't call that a mistake. I
it's
don't
not a
feel like.
mistake. Right. Exactly. Okay, so then what he says that bothers me is I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. So talk about that. I'm
No,
curious what
I
your
have
thoughts are.
conflicting feelings there. I really do. Because that statement by itself, without the context of what's happened, okay, I see it. I mean, I look back at things that even like my mom, well meaning, has posted on Facebook when I was a kid. And I'm like, oh, that's so embarrassing, you know?
Yeah,
So
sure.
I get it. However, we're talking about something that was to an extent under his control. Not in
Right.
that it was posted, but in that you are in a public place doing things that you know that other people are witnessing. I mean, you know the world we live in. You know that there are cameras everywhere,
Right.
especially at an event like this.
Right.
So I just don't know that there really was a true reason to have an expectation of privacy there.
I I agree. I agree. And again, anybody could have, because my guess is, and I'm just speculating, I have no idea if this is true or not, but my guess is that there were photos taken within the box they were sharing. You know, they were having fun, they were together as a group, and that's what happens. And if that happened, there's really no difference than somebody randomly in the crowd taking a photo or video of the cam thing, and somebody taking a photo and sharing it. Now, the original poster of this, so the person who originally posted it,
Do we know who that is?
I don't know who that
Okay.
is. No. No. Um but they knew what they were posting when they posted it. I mean, let's be
There
real.
weren't good intentions there. There
The
couldn't have been.
No. They wanted a viral video. They wanted to show what was going on because it was evident that these people were probably having an affair. I think they probably just lucked out. I mean, they could have, who knows? It could have been an, who knows who it was. And if you know, I mean, there's so much speculation there, but regardless, they
I
knew
feel
what
like
they were
it's a good
doing.
point to just remind everyone we don't know any of these people. We saw them
No, right.
and we're saying what we think. So
Yes, this is totally opinion, totally speculation, and just being an observer from the viral videos. And that's part of the reason we're not posting the video itself, because we don't want to contribute to you know, what went viral, but we want to talk about just, yeah. Anyway, but they knew what they were doing, and that I don't think is very ethical,
I
right?
don't either.
Yeah, posting something
Now
about
that makes
right.
that.
That's not cool.
And I just
But
think about like to the person who originally posted it with the intention of it probably going viral. I'm assuming that's their
right,
intention.
right.
You know, I I don't think that there was any way to couch that makes it a great idea. I mean, you're
No,
hurting his family, you're
right.
hurting the company, people that have nothing to do with what this decision was
Yeah.
have now been negatively affected, and I that's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And we know that happens all the time. And then of course the people that continued to make it viral were doing exactly the same thing. And now, you know, some of those viral videos have information on them. Now I know exactly who it is. Now I know you know, and there's, it just added to the fire. The other thing that happened, though, that I thought was really sad. And it's kind of a commentary on social media and our world right now. Because when I saw that, I did not laugh. I was so sad. I mean, and my first thought was for his wife. That was my first thought. And his kids, now that we know he has kids. Um and thinking, "Oh my gosh, how would you feel if that were you?" Be horrible. But the other thing that I noticed, there were a ton of jokes about this all over the place.
And that
Right. And we have to remember that when we post things on social media, we're dealing with real people and real lives. And I think one of the things social media has done, and again, I'm a huge fan of social media in my own. I mean, I use it, we use it. We're obviously going to be using it with this podcast or YouTube. I mean,
now
right, exactly. So it's not social media in and of itself, but social media has allowed us to really be able to bully or to look at people as fodder for us, as
it's
entertainment.
our interactions.
Yeah.
And it's
And
really sad.
it is really bad. And so when you think about, so we come from the perspective of everyone has an intrinsic value that cannot be changed. And we really do live that. When we do this on social media, we are literally dehumanizing human beings. When we when we do some of the things I see politically or with movie stars or what, people we consider public personas, because we are so far removed from it, that's not somebody we know personally, or that's not somebody we can connect with. It always does seem like this, uh, it's distant for us, and so we can joke about these people, we can make fun of them, we can do memes about them, and oh ho ho, but we forget those are real people and with families.
Real people whose lives have been devastated by this. And I mean, I even think of the CEO, while I don't condone his actions in the slightest, I mean, I cannot stand cheating. I think
Yeah.
it's horrid. But like you said, I mean, back in the day, you could move away, you can get away from this
Yeah.
reputation. I don't know what this is going to do for him long term because thinking like professionally, you've got this attached to your name now.
Right.
And even just, family life, friends, it doesn't matter where they go, this is going to follow them. And that's
Right.
unfortunate for him too, because I mean, he really could have some heart change here and genuinely apologize and want to do better. And this is still attached to him.
Yeah. Exactly. The other thing that's really interesting, I'll be interested to see what the company does and what happens going forward. Everybody, it's Stephanie Olson here, and I just wanted to pop in with a quick edit because the CEO of Astronomer did step down and resigned the next day. So that is what happened. Because should someone be fired for having an affair? Well, I would suppose that depends on your job. If you're a pastor of a church, probably. If you've signed a code of conduct that says you can't do something like that in your personal life, absolutely. Um, in our work, we have a code of conduct, but certainly um, that would not be actionable. That you have a personal life. I mean, certainly that would not be actionable. But once it was posted, and again, this wasn't his decision, but once it was posted, it now
Interesting.
affected the company.
It's bringing
So,
publicity to his company. Yeah.
exactly. So, what do you do then? Like, what are your thoughts?
Such a tough spot because I do believe in giving people grace. And I believe
Yeah,
that, we've all made mistakes. Some are just
all
more
of us.
public than others. And so you're right. I mean, there are some jobs that I definitely agree with you. If you're a marriage counselor and you're
Yeah.
on your spouse. Please don't be a marriage counselor anymore.
Right.
Things like that.
Rethink some of the things you're doing. Right.
Sometimes your personal life does really play into what you do professionally,
Yeah.
but other times it doesn't. And it's so tricky because I can see both sides. I
Yeah.
can see for him that maybe he is, I don't know anything about his professional life, but maybe he's great at what he does.
I'm
And
sure he's a billionaire. He's
he's got to
probably
be.
pretty good at what he does. Yeah.
But I can also see the other side in the company of like, hey, people people purchase and get involved with companies based on if they can feel a connection to them, and it's not always
Mm,
based off of the product that they have, right?
right.
Oftentimes it's based off of the people. And so I totally understand the company side too of, hey, people do not want to be associated with us because of this. We need to
Yeah.
distance ourselves from this action.
Right.
It's so tricky.
Yeah, it really is. So the other question I had, and I said this to my sister, should have just had my sister join us, but one of the things I said to her was it really bothered me. So the woman next to them in the video was laughing the whole time it
Yes, I
happened.
saw that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And
I'm
she
worried.
apparently, according to what I've heard, was a staff member of the woman. So she worked,
For a while.
yes, yes. Rumor also has it she just got a promotion, but I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not sure. Um, but I said that kind of made me sick that she was laughing about it. And my sister said this, and I really actually appreciated her saying this. Well, in all fairness, we don't know how we would respond if we were in her shoes.
It's
And
comfortable laughter of I don't know how what to do with this.
yes. Yes, when we are in a situation where we're nervous or where oh my gosh, and some people do, that's the response is to
My
laugh
daughter
and
is a nervous laughter.
is that right?
Oh my goodness. It's so hard when I'm getting onto her because she's just like cracking up sometimes.
Oh,
And I know she doesn't mean it. It's just like, oh crap, I know I messed up. It's
yes.
like, oh yeah. So there are
Yeah,
people that do that because
I
they just
know.
minds.
Exactly. Now, well, I don't know. Who knows if she's friends with these people, if she's just, hey, I just work for them, it's none of my business. I who knows. But I do think that's fair that I think we do make judgments about things or people that we see, and it's really easy to be the Monday morning quarterback and say, well, I would never respond like that, when in fact we really don't know
You
how.
don't know until it's
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's so hard. And then also people said, well, if they would have just played it cool, nobody would have known because nobody would have made it viral.
I'm
Th-
sure they have friends.
You would think. But
And
the other,
yeah,
yeah,
family that would see that and say, oh, what's going on there?
well, and the other thing is we have a natural response to situations. Like our natural response, I mean, it's you go into fight or flight, right? Regardless of whether it's a bear or
Or
something
a
like
camera.
that or a camera. And so I think again we don't know how we would behave. But so having said all that, let's unless you want to say any more about the Coldplay situation itself, I want to talk about and we may make this a two-parter because now I want to have the conversation about social media
Okay.
and and what is appropriate, what's not, what should we watch out for, what are the things that we I don't know, it's just I think
It's
that
probably
was
gonna
a
be harder.
shining light, that was a shining
Yeah.
light on what can happen.
You know, I think this conversation is twofold, right? Because it's what what might other people post
Yeah.
versus what might you post. And those might not be the same things, but there's definitely things to consider.
Everybody jumping in with edit number 2. Join us next week for part 2 of this podcast. We're going to continue the conversation with social media and privacy.